Dude, I had to get up and walk around and pace around the room for a little bit, man. When I saw the title for this week's chapter, I was just like, nah, hold on. Hold on. We have to relax, man. And it's like, based on chapter 969, it is the obvious. But it's like the same thing that happened in chapter 923 when I saw that title that said Kaido versus Luffy. I immediately lost my mind. I was like, bro, I can't help it, man. It's like, it's the obvious, but to actually have that in the title is confirmation. And I'm in the same situation, man. I have been waiting to see this battle since they confirmed that Oden was the one to slash him, bro. And to cause that scar. And I'm like, God. And just to see Enma in action, being held by Oden, I was like, alright, I gotta calm down. Let's get into the chapter, but before I do that, ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to read the latest installment in the Wano Awesome Sauce, specifically the manga Wano Awesome Sauce, here today for chapter 970 of the best-selling manga in history. Nearly the second best-selling comic of all time, and it will be by the end of this magnificent arc. We are here today to read the one, the only One Piece, man. And I am super stoked, bro. Let's get right into this. Let's get right into it, man. Dude, I can't believe... Dog, like... Oden and Kaido, man. I mean, Mr. Sideburns himself against the dragon. I mean, we saw what happened last chapter with the build-up that is going on and taking place. Like I said last week, Oda is at his best at emotional payoffs, no matter what the moment, man. I mean, so many moments in these series had stuck out to me, and it become some of my favorite moments I've ever read in anything because of the incredible emotional payoff. I mean, that Oda just nails it every single time. And it's in the manner that he builds up those emotional payoffs and really builds up, you know, you feeling a certain way until said payoff happens that makes that payoff just, you know, just nail it. And I felt that way at the end of last week, man, where I was like, Flagnards, you know, that entire chapter, Oden was being made fun of, and he was called the foolish sword of Cootie, and you saw everything possible just going in a way that made you feel bad for this character. And at the end of the chapter, you have overtaken play, and then you have all of them, the Akazaya 9, ready to go up in like so much. Let's go. Chapter 970, Oden versus Kaido, and I gotta hold it in, man. No yelling. No yelling. Let me get some water. Alright, man, let's get right into it. Oden versus Kaido. And they just know, man. They know me. They know exactly what I've been waiting for. They know exactly what I want. So before we get into this incredible moment of having these two men of legends going at it, and like how it said at the end of the last chapter, the Hour of Legends, the very first panel in this chapter is the they're hitting me with it, man. Oh, this is too much, bro. This is too much. Look at this second panel, bro. Yo, look at how beast Kinemon looks. Yeah, you don't see the eyes. My boy Kawamatsu Raizo, but look at Oden. Oden playing games, and whenever you see the veins on that man's face. Relax. Here we have Toki dressing up Hiyori. And then here we have Momonosuke, and it looks like he's studying through a book of sword fighting. Here comes Yasui, man, riding in on a horse straight out of Final Fantasy, man. And then here we see the Flower Capital in like a split panel type of view, which looks really cool. I really appreciate this. This is not what I expected, is what Oden states, and he looks right up into the air. And everything's snowing right here, and then the other one we see the flower petals coming down. Why are you so thoroughly prepared? How did you know I was on my way to cut off your head as you sat on that empty island drinking yourself to sleep? I wasn't expecting a battle of numbers. But look at Kaido. Perhaps I have a spy in your castle. Perhaps I have a spy in your castle. Is there some truth to this traitor thing for real, bro? Are they shooting? Like real talk, are they shooting? Where we're getting towards a point in time in this arc where we may actually get hints to what actually took place when Law was talking in that prison cell with Hawkins, and there was an individual that showed up. And people were saying and discussing how that could possibly be the traitor. And this traitor, or if that's not the traitor, then the traitor is within our ranks. And there's countless of theories on that. Somebody, maybe somebody of the Akazaya 9 or whatnot. But what's very, very interesting about this is that he specified the very first thing that Dragon Form Kaido, so you know, at least for me, when one of the Yonko speaks, I listen. It's just the way it's in my DNA, man. When a Yonko speaks, I listen. Perhaps I have a spy in your castle. I've just had my mansion built. I'd rather not have it used as a battleground, so I came out to meet you instead. And I really like this panel with Kaido and Oden because you just see flower petals behind them, and then it's a white background, really making you truly focus on both characters. Then it was all a lie, wasn't it, Kaido? That's right, all lies. I sensed that we were at a disadvantage then. Kaido sensed that he was at a disadvantage? Kaido? Bro, look at that entire army, bro. This was like a kingdom battle. Bro, this is a panel straight out of Kingdom, man. I like my boy Shin looking over the cliff and seeing the countless array of armies in front of him. But instead of being a massive army, it's General Kaido. So wait a minute. This is going back to what was taking place last chapter where he was carrying that burden. So let me just one more time reread through this before we get into the hype stuff. Why are you so thoroughly prepared? How did you know? I was on my way to cut off your head as you sat on that empty island drinking yourself to sleep. I wasn't expecting a battle of numbers. And then he says, perhaps I have a spy in your castle. I just had a matching build. I'd rather not have it used as a battleground, so I came out to meet you instead, which is why he appeared in front of him. He says, then it was all a lie, wasn't it? Kaido's right, all lies. I sensed that we were at a disadvantage then, at that point in time. After your return, if you had joined forces with Hyogoro, we would have to deal with all the samurai and Yakuza of Wano together, bro. He would have had to deal with the Dragon of Dojima, Goro Majima. And then the legend himself, Kozuki Oden, all at once. Do you know what it is, man? Do you know what it is to have to go against all the Yakuza and all the samurai? That's too much, man. We had fewer numbers, then it would have been a difficult battle. Man, Kaido stating all that, bro. That's how you know that he puts respect upon the name of the Akazaya 9. He puts respect on the name of the Yakuza and definitely puts respect on the name of Oden. And for him to say, for Kaido of all people to say that we were at a disadvantage, he means that 110%. We know the type of character that Kaido is. Kaido's very honest when it comes to, somebody either being at a specific strength or at a certain strength. And we know how he senses a certain character's strength. He's like, man, you're strong, bro. Like, join my crew. Like, he's right up front with things. He doesn't beat around the bush when it comes to certain things like that. So it's very interesting that he had to beat around the bush in order to deliver this. And then he states here what he states, that they had fewer numbers. I wonder if that's an actual metaphor. Especially if you lived up to your fearsome reputation as a madman who would not blink at any sacrifice. And Kaido is like putting mad respect on his name, and I'm loving getting more of Dragon Kaido, man. Instead, you chose a method that would not hurt anyone. Newgate and Roger were like that too, mighty pirates, but soft in their way. Hey, man, there's a lot of words for Edward Newgate and Goldie Roger, but one of them ain't soft, coach. I'll tell you that right now, man. They ain't Charmin. Especially if you lived up your fearsome as a madman who would not blink at any sacrifice. And then it says, instead you chose a method that would not hurt anyone. And then he's pretty much compares him to the other legends that he was with, to Whitebeard and Roger. Saying that they probably rubbed off some sort of influence on Oden. But at the end of the day, man, that's not being soft, bro. That is its own. That is a strength in its own way. That's somebody being so strong that Kaido can even comprehend it. You know, Kaido, I guess, can't wrap his head around the strength that it took for Oden to do what he did in the last chapter, man. It really takes a very significant amount of strength to throw your pride away like that, man. All to protect the people that you love, bro. I mean, mad respect for Oden. Right, we see Denjiro and Kinemon, and you are one of them. The fool who chose to dance. And we get this magnificent panel of silhouetted Kaido up in the skies. And Oden looking right at him. Stripped to your loincloth, mocked by all. You have none of the old Kozuki dignity. I stand by my decision that day. Let us speak of the future now. Staying true to his convictions. My boy Oden says, I stand by my decision. What happened on that day, man? What happened on that day is the past. What happened, happened. I don't regret it one bit. Because I did what I had to do. But why are you talking about the past, bruh? We're right here. Stay present, my boy. Stay present, Kaido. Let's talk about the future. Let's talk about what happens after I cut your head off. It's like, yo, Oden. And then we get this incredible spread right here. We see all of Kaido's soldiers coming right in. You see a pissed off Oden, and he unleashes his Rio Haki and just slams right through them. We get to see his buffed muscles right here, man, looking straight like Toguro in the Dark Tournament. Follow Lord Oden into battle. Yeah! And then, we get a really nice panel once again of Kinemon and Denjiro back to back. All the others follow right here as well. Wait a second, is this what samurai are like? They're so tough. Don't fall back. We have the strength of numbers on our side. And then we have, and damn, bro. And then we have every single last one of them in their own specific panel, looking just a little mad, bro, as they're going in and spamming square on these Dynasty Warrior enemies. Lord Yasui, Oden sent a messenger to me by horse. Also, we have Yasui here protecting Toki. He said that his wife and children would be in danger, and he asked me to see to you. So Lord Momonosuke is already 8. Otoki, we must be prepared for the worst. If Oden loses this battle, then this country is lost. And I love how whenever he states that this country is lost, we get a panel of what Wano looks past the Dragon Gate. Now, I'm not sure about the exact significance behind the Dragon Gate, right? You know, I don't have that much historic, or I don't have that much knowledge based on Japanese history to know the, the ins and outs of what a Dragon Gate truly means. You know, my deepest knowledge for a Dragon Gate goes to where, Miyamoto from Nintendo stated that he walked by a Dragon Gate one day and it was like, hey man, I could put a flying ship through that, and that created Star Fox. That's the deepest my knowledge goes when it comes to a Dragon Gate like this, right? But I want to know in the comments section, if anybody knows, the historical significance of what a Dragon Gate means, because I want to know why Oda decided to have the Dragon Gate and then behind that include all of Wano, because we get to see a really wide angle shot of Wano behind it, and it feels like it has something more to it. Especially with Yasui saying that this country is lost. I mean, it is a very dynamic panel. I adore this panel. This is one of those panels that, and Oda's been doing this a lot this arc, to where it feels like you're there. It feels like you're witnessing. It feels like you're looking at things from your own perspective, from a first-person standpoint. Just from the way that it's kind of viewed, because the way your face is angled, you're naturally looking at things kind of like this, right? And that's the way this panel looks. This panel looks like you're looking at it through like a football helmet. So you're looking at things like this. And it's just a very fascinating dynamic, and I like it a lot. And, just seeing the chatter and the laughing within the country of Wano, and contradicting exactly what's being said by Yasui here, man. But the fact that Yasui was here with Toki for this entire situation, and you have all the others right here watching and waiting, of course, to what obviously took place in chapter 920, which I'm sure is to come very, very soon. But let's continue on with the chapter. We see Oden's feet right here as he goes to the grass, and we see one of the snipers locks on to Oden. He looks right back. Oh no, he threw a kunai at him? No, that had to be somebody else. It's gotta be Zenzo, bro. Hey, shout out to my Gintama fans, but it's gotta be Zenzo. Of course it was Whoa! Okay, Shinobu! Shinobu's out here, dog. I see you. Looking fresh, and then she's got the kunai in her mouth on some Naruto stuff. Who did that? And we see Shinobu go right up into the air. I hope you don't mind that I'm joining your side. You may not remember me, but I served back in the days of Shogun Sukiyaki. You may not remember me, but I served back in the days of Shogun Sukiyaki. And she states, I hope you don't mind that I'm joining your side. So, Shinobu joined in the middle of this battle, in the middle of Oden's final battle? That is very, very interesting. I thought that Shinobu was there for much longer than that. For a much longer time period. And we know that she was listening into the conversation with Orochi and Oden because we saw that in the last chapter. So did she make her decision just based on that, or was there other factors that led into that? Because if she just showed up out of nowhere like that, I mean, number one, I have mad respect for her coming to the battlefield and wanting to take part in this entire thing to truly aid Oden. But number two, the writer side in me says, hold on, coach, like, yo, that's a red light, you feel me? Because what this is saying here is that, you know, all of these other characters that we know have that strong connection. Every single other member of the Nine and or the individuals we've seen so far in Wano, they have this very, very strong connection to Oden. And so when we're trying to single out who this quote-unquote traitor is that we've seen from either from the person that Law and Hawkins in that entire scenario right there, or, you know, who has been leaking the information, just like Kaido was stating right here, blatantly again, you know, bringing up that topic. So it's just very interesting to me that Oda would decide to have Shinobu say this within that very same chapter. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. Just very, very interesting stuff. So, but let's see. But yeah, really, hey, man, hey, Shinobu, dog. Is that Shinobu? Yes, it's me. I served at the castle believing that the Kozuki would rule. No, but then again, man, you know, I say that, but my Gintama instincts within me, I know what a loyal retainer of a shogun would do for their people. Because it's my favorite arc ever made. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what a retainer of a shogun would do, bro, for his shogun. Or for her shogun. Like, yo, I know the extents that they would go. You feel me? So, dang, man. It's like I can't doubt Shinobu because of that. I don't know. Let's continue reading the chapter. Let's continue. Yes, it's me. I served at the castle believing that Kozuki would rule once again, but Fukuro, Kuju, and the Kozuki Ninja Legion chose to switch allegiance to Orochi in the end. I dreamed of one day serving you as shogun, so I can no longer stay in the palace. I do not blame any who would lose faith in the fool of a lord. Yo, Oden's like, dog, I don't blame you, man. You feel me? Like, I don't blame you for losing faith in someone who would do what I did. You know, I take full responsibility for my actions. We walk a path of thorns, Shinobu. Raizo states, yelling throughout the skies, man. I will join you. On one side, 11 samurai ventured into battle, and he'll look at Kaido up at the skies. Be careful. And here we get to see Queen. Yeah, no, that's definitely Queen. On the other, 1,000 pirates. Some of them are very dangerous. And King, yo, King. But the battle lasted longer than expected as Kozuki Oden's strength surpassed the enemy's imagination. Yo, as Kozuki Oden's strength surpassed the enemy's imagination. And we see Kaido release a blast breath. And it nails Oden. The only thing I want to cut is your scaly neck. Oden 2 sword style. And there's the X. There's the X. There it is. The scar. Created by Oden himself. Paradise Totsuka. And you see him, oh, it's a double spread. Paradise Totsuka. You see a small Oden. Slashes. My boy, Kaido's like, ugh. He landed a blow on the invincible Kaido. Bro, but that's Oden, dog. Like, you gotta put respect. This is a man who Whitebeard referred to as a brother. On some Hulk Hogan stuff, man. Not as a son, but as a brother. It's a man that Roger was so fascinated by, he wanted to take him with him on a journey. Like, respected by the true legends in the verse. Like, yo, we expect nothing less from this man, bro. And the fact that he tanked that blast breath and said, yo, Paradise Totsuka. Yeah. Yo, man, like nothing, dude. And you get to see the remnants of the Rio hockey left behind by the attack. I love this panel, man. You know, it's like Oden's... We've seen it a few times with Oden in this arc, and just the way that he utilizes his blade. He always takes some sort of stance after delivering an attack. You know, whenever he defeated the man, the big the pig, right? The man bear pig. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about, man. When that thing got fodderized and nearly cut in half, we had a panel nearly or very similar to that. So really cool to have like that same sort of style, but for Kaido. You feel me? Landed a blow on the invincible Kaido. We see Kaido, you know, wincing in pain. He hits the ground hard, and Oden does not stop there. I gotta relax. Calm down. Dog, then Oden. I mean, granted, Kaido was not known as like the mass emperor. I'm going to assume that he's known now. But by the heavens, to Kaido, to the to the dragon Kaido, to tell him never come back to Wano. And he jets towards a Kaido that he just, like he wasn't satisfied with just entering him. My boy said, I'm catching the dub. Stop right there, Oden. Help, father. Momonosuke? They brought Momonosuke onto the battlefield? So, if they brought Momonosuke onto the battlefield, that would mean that they pretty much already ransacked the house. Right? That means that they pretty much already dealt the damage that needed to be dealt back at the crib. And then, taking advantage of the situation, like a classic heel in the 1980s in professional wrestling, Kaido takes advantage of the babyface being distracted and proceeds to knock him upside the head, man, while the referee ain't looking. Dog. That is some heel stuff, man. And it's unnecessary. Like, yo, we know how strong Kaido is. We know that this dude is that dude. But the fact that he's reverting to heel-like tactics to take on Oden is the most pro wrestling thing ever. This is taken straight out of the Vince McMahon book, man. This is taken straight out of the oldest books of professional wrestling you could possibly find. Why? Because even in those eras, and we know that Oda's a massive wrestling fan, and we know that based on his age, he watched wrestling within that era, within that golden era of the true babyface versus heel. So the fact that he went back to that for this very panel, because back in those days, you could have an undefeated heel. A heel that truly just dominated every single person. You would have heels that just ran through the entire roster, beat him 1, 2, 3, nobody could stand up to him. But the moment that regular Hulkster Hulk Hogan came up in there like swimwear, even the baddest of heels were gonna cheat their way to beat that man. And I love and appreciate how Oda, I mean, I'm not sure if it was intentional, but that's the way that I see it, is that he has like this classic callback to the 1980s heel in professional wrestling by having this overpowered villain that is not only an overpowered villain, but he's gonna use this. He's going to use his noggin, man. He's going to use this in order to ensure that he has victory, because he sees that Oden right now is laying the smackdown. So what is he going to do? He's not going to say, nah, just fight me and see me in hands straight up. He's going to do the heel thing. He's going to take his club while my boy ain't looking and whack him up beside the head, man. As a professional wrestling fan, and one that has been one my entire life, I appreciate this tactic by Oda, but I'm pissed off at Kaido for doing it, man. Flipping flag nards, bro. Like, are you kidding me, dog? Like, yo, Oden had the might. Oden had the courage to come see you one-on-one. After Kaido already stated that he was at a disadvantage before, which is why he didn't want to see him, and he basically tricked him out of that, and now he tricked him again in this situation. Well, not really tricked him, but he grabbed a hostage. So that's twice that Kaido didn't want to see Oden. This is seriously some classic pro wrestling stuff right here, man. This is seriously some classic pro wrestling stuff. Give me a sec, man. I gotta get some water. Yo, my throat, I think I'm doing a little too... I'm speaking with too much volume. Give me a sec, dog. Alright, man, I'm back, and while I was taking my break, I was just looking at this page, and I just still am trying to process, like, the fact that Oda actually did this for Kaido, man. Like, he real deal gave him the classic heel mindset. Like, that's absolutely insane, because that's so dangerous to me, man. I mean, like, I was trying to apply this to, like, something that would happen in Onigashima, right? Because it's one thing to have a villain or an antagonist that is extremely strong, but like their weakness is that they only want to see you one-on-one, right? Because Kaido's somebody that respects strong people, so I expected that he would love to see people one-on-one, right? And he wouldn't cheat out his way out of something like that, because he's so strong. He wishes to see other people as strong as him. But nah, man. In this very case, he feels threatened by the strength of Oden. And instead of trying to prove his own strength, he just said, screw it, I'm going to take the heel way out. And utilize any means necessary in order to do so. That's dangerous. That's even more dangerous than I could have ever anticipated. Because it's one thing to have a dragon. It's one thing to have a beast like Kaido. It's another thing to have a person with a mentality like that. That snake type of way. To like, they are going to win. And that's dangerous. That is really, really dangerous. And now I fear Kaido more than I ever have before. Man. Holy flagnars. And right here we see the blood coming down Oden's face, man. And the fact, oh, that makes sense. See, I was wondering, I was like, wait a minute, how is Momonosuke here? It never clicked in my mind that this could be the flipping the Kurozumi family members who had the Bonclay fruit, the clone fruit. Flipping flagnards, man. It was all a ruse, bro. See, they even got me with that, dog. I was so into the moment. Look at all the blood coming down Oden's head, man. I mean, yo, and Kaido took... Look at the blood coming down Kaido's mouth, man. I mean, and down his nose. I mean, that slash real deal hurt him, dog. Lord Oden. Lord Oden. And we see that Ashura gets a blade stabbed right in the middle of his back. And it looks like it was King that did that. Yo, so can we expect Ashura versus King in Onigashima to get their revenge? Or is that King? Is that King? It is focusing on the horns a little bit. It could be King. I don't know. Maybe it's one of the numbers. The fighting was so fierce that the fires that burned Udon's thick forests did not abate until the rains arrived a full 5 days later. So the fighting was so fierce that the fires that burned Udon's thick forest did not abate until the rains arrived a full 5 days later. The daimyo of Kuri, Kozuki Oden, and his 9 followers were imprisoned in the flower capital. Dang, man, so they really took the L. To await their punishment for the crime of rebellion against the shogun. Unaware of the reason behind this act, the populace's reaction was cold. After what a disappointment he was, a little late, don't you think? What a bunch of sickos, man. It's like, if only they knew, bro. You see, stuff like that. Oda's really good at utilizing stuff that genuinely makes me mad, and even though I know he's utilizing a storytelling technique, my instincts as a human being, I can't help but be mad in this situation, right? Because after seeing this individual do everything possible, bro, my man spent 5 years acting a fool, up throwing away his pride, dog, for his family, while everyone was berating him and calling him trash and saying like, yo, you ain't worth it, you ain't worthy, like, you ain't my leader. And now he actually goes on a rebellion actually willing to be about it, gets cheated out of the entire thing on heel-like ways, and now they want to hate on him again, because that's all the populace does. That's all people do online. That's all people do everywhere. You know, they see a situation, and they immediately go to comment on it, man, to give whatever wonderful insight they have. Flipping flagnards, man. You see, this is infuriating, man. This is really, really infuriating, because it's something that we see every single day. When something happens, especially if it's something that happens to somebody that we know and we care about, and we see other people just continuously dog on them with X, Y, or Z, man. Stuff like that, dude. Does this mean we won't get to see his naked dance every week? Shinobu never got captured? Well, of course she never got captured, now that I think about it. Because she was never truly registered as being someone who was on their side. She was just on the field. That's the only downside to this. Hey, this is serious. I don't know her. She is no vassal of mine. Shinobu can't be the traitor, bro. Shinobu can't be the traitor. Hey, yo. Oden just got cheated. He shouldn't be willing to trust anybody. He shouldn't be up to the stake of trusting any new individual that he must have met. But even in the midst of all this, after having just met this individual, he denies her and says, yo, I don't know her, she's no vassal of mine. Are you after my life? Get out of here, scram. Like, yo, if you ain't after my life, you're no vassal of mine, get out of here. All doing this to protect her, man. I mean, yo, please, man, for me, in the comments section, give me a massive Oden. Bro, Oden every chapter just elevates and elevates and elevates, man. What an amazing individual, bro. Nah, man, after reading this, there's no way that Shinobu's the traitor. There's no way. That is the connection that I was waiting for. That is the connection that I was waiting to see from Shinobu. Like, what was the connection that she would have to Oden? There's no bigger the connection than that, man. She literally owes this man her life. Man, dude, and then having the hoodie over her head on some Lucy Steel stuff from Steel Ball Run, man. The sentence of the samurai has been decided. Mother, when is father coming home? I folded a paper balloon for him. Oh, that's lovely. Won't it be nice when he returns? Man, Hiyori and Momonosuke have no idea for the childlike innocence, man. And they're so used to their pops not being home because he's been on adventures. So to them, it's just normal, man. You feel me? Man, and then the rain falls on Yasui. In the public square 3 days hence, the 10 wicked samurai are sentenced to be boiled to death. And here you got my boy Oden still looking fresh, even while locked up, just in the same way as my boy Luffy, man. And that's the end of the chapter. Man, dude. I went into this chapter thinking that we were going to get some sort of level and moment of respect between Kaido and Oden, because I really thought we were going down that route. You know, I wanted to know what it was that kept Kaido around. Because it's one thing to rule over a place and have your territory, but why would you stay around? And originally in my mind, I thought that he stayed around because he had so much respect for Oden that Oden must have told him about this whole 20-year plan thing. That someone in the future would eventually come to take him down in his stead, in a similar way to what Roger said. You know, I thought that Oden would tell him, you know, I won't be the one to defeat you, but the ones after me will. Somebody will carry on my will. And that's how I thought he was going to get taken on and defeated. But instead of giving us that, Oda decided to give us the classic pro wrestling heel move to truly, truly, truly make me want to punch Kaido, man. I mean, but it's like, on so many levels, I'm just like, yes, because that's what villains do. That is what they should do. You know, I hate it whenever certain characters are in a situation, I'm like, dog, I know so many other characters. Like, when I look at Kefka, and I look at some villains, I'm like, brother, this dude could wipe the floor with anyone, and yet he will still use any means necessary to catch the W. And I appreciate characters like, not every character is like that. Not every character needs to be like that. But it's because I have that, my upbringing and loving heels, that whenever I see a character actually have like those heel-like tendencies from wrestling, where they use whatever means necessary in order to catch a W, I really respect that, man. I really respect that from a writing standpoint. Am I mad at Kaido? Absolutely. I want Luffy more than ever. I want Luffy to hit him with the King Kong gun, man. Gear 5th style, dog. Taking a clickbait thumbnail from YouTube in the theory section. Get him with Gear 6. Gear 6 Monkey Dragon, man. I don't care, dog. Luffy, use whatever means necessary to punch this man in the face. That's how mad I am right now. But I respect it so much, man. I really do, because instead of Oda giving us this level of respect this moment of respect between Oden and Kaido, and seeing Oden and Kaido duke it out, knowing damn well that he's saving Kaido going all out for Luffy, instead he's going to give us a situation that it's taken straight out of the pro wrestling book. Let's not show off any of these dudes' moves until the actual main event, until the actual pay-per-view. So while we're still on a Monday Night Raw show, let's show off Oden getting, catching a W, getting everybody hyped up, and the babyface going in, and immediately heel comes in with his manager, puts it into the entire thing, man. It's just straight out of the wrestling book, man. I truly appreciate Oda for doing that, because it just makes sense. It makes sense, and it fits for this entire story, because what this flashback is supposed to do is it's supposed to get us emotionally invested in this entire world of Wano and in the story of Wano, to where we really want to see Luffy punch the Flagnards out of Kaido. That's the way that every flashback has gone up until this point in time. In Dressrosa, as much as I love Doflamingo, after the Law flashback, I wanted Dofi to get punched in the face. Same thing with Wapol in Drum Island, same thing with Arlong in Arlong Park. There's just certain, and it's especially in Water 7, and in these lobby, you feel me? Like, there's just these certain flashbacks that after you see them, you really want these dudes to get punched in the face. And this is definitely heading down that route. 110%, man. I never even would have imagined. This is another Oda having Hall of Fame ankle breaker, to where Kaido of all individuals, this character who we have seen as being someone who truly appreciates strength, which is why I really thought that moment between him and Oden was going to come. But instead, Kaido values strength as long as he's on top. You feel me? Kaido values strength as long as he's the person at the peak of Mount Everest, as long as he's the person at the peak. He values strength as long as you're a tier below him. If you're a tier below him, sure, join my crew. But once somebody gets in his tier, he will feel threatened and will start using other dastardly heel techniques. And that's a very, very dangerous combination, man. And I'm very interested. I love that Oda took this route. I really, really do. Like, the more I think about it, the more I like it. Because I'm like, man, like, this entire arc, all of us, I'm sure, could not help but love Kaido. I mean, this dude reminds me of Brock Lesnar. I mean, my guy comes out here, transforms into a beast-looking dragon. I mean, he's doing nothing wrong. My guy's chilling. Luffy's the one that invaded and wanted to take him out. Kaido was just chilling. And then the more that this arc develops, and the more we see from Kaido, and the more about these smile fruits, and the more about the pollution problems here in Wano, and how he teamed up with Orochi in order to do all this stuff. And now this, the more you see just how much of a dastardly heel and character Kaido truly is. And it's like he went from this final boss type of character that you like, this type of like a Sephiroth sort of, well, not really. Sephiroth has a lot of deep things to him, and we don't know that much about Kaido yet. But it's still like, you know what I mean, like that type of final boss type of a feeling to him. That's what Kaido's always had, everybody being afraid of him, and in that way, yeah, he definitely is like Sephiroth in that type of way. But he has that mentality of where now, like I said, anybody who threatens that strength, he will use whatever means necessary. And just Oda's doing everything possible within this flashback and with the story of Wano up until this point to really show us. I mean, in the first half of the arc, he showed us how strong Kaido truly is. Like, not only do we hear the legends of this man through the likes of Doflamingo and other characters, and the narration of how nobody would want to see him one-on-one, but now, even with all that strength, you have a character who is willing to even steep as low as this. He's a man with no pride. That's dangerous. It's dangerous. So with that being said, I absolutely love that portion of the chapter. And now, with Oden, I can't even begin to explain to y'all how much respect I have gained for Oden. I mean, Oden from Jump Street, I immediately liked his character. But I feel like within this flashback, he might end up being my favorite flashback character. I mean, dude, the stuff that this man is doing for his people, the stuff this man is doing for the people that he loves, it's so beautiful, dog. This man just met Shinobu, an individual whom he should distrust at an instant. He has no business trusting Shinobu, and even her. You say, I don't know her, dog. Get her the flag and it's out of here. All knowing damn well all he's doing is protecting her, man. That's so beautiful, bro. Another banger of a chapter. Oda does not miss, man. Wow, this completely blew my expectations out of the water in a way that I did not expect, man. This man took a page out of the pro wrestling book, bro. Like, you just want to cheer for Oden, man. And now I want to see Kaido get punched in the flagnars, dude. Like, real talk, man. The 10 Wicked Samurai are sentenced to be boiled to death. And Oden's still looking fresh, not regretting a single second of anything that he went through, man. Like, he did all this, dog, and whatever happens, happens. Amazing stuff, man. I really, really did not expect it to go on this route, man. It's super, super exciting. A true heel in Kaido, man. That's dangerous, dude. But let me know what y'all thought about this week's chapter. Don't let me know what you thought about this week's chapter, especially since it comes out tomorrow. Then let me know what you thought about chapter 970 of the best-selling manga in history. I will try to be back tomorrow for chapter 971. It's gonna be a pretty long day at work tomorrow, so I'm hoping that I get out in time in order to release it tomorrow night. But even if I don't, I'm gonna read it whenever I get home. So whether it gets released Friday night or Saturday morning, I'll be back tomorrow for another installment of the best-selling manga in history, and I look forward to seeing what 971 has in store, man. Just based after this chapter, because I originally thought the rest of this was just gonna take us into, what 920 covered, but no, Oda's still taking his time and fleshing everything out, and it really puts you into the situation in this world. Like, every single chapter feels like another act in this short film, and I appreciate it so much. And it's like you're putting all the pieces together, and everything just starts making a lot of sense, and great stuff, man. But I will see y'all next time. Have an awesome day. Cannot wait to read the next installment tomorrow. So we'll see y'all next time. One Piece greatness. Oden, man. Yo, this one, even though this chapter, this was a tough one to get to, man. Yo, I was like, I feel it. I gotta take a break for real, dog. I gotta take a break.